Konnichiwa.
Hello and welcome to the Cool Kids live review of Toho's latest epic Godzilla film, Godzilla Minus One.
Gojira!
I don't know any other.
And first of all, I'd just like to. First of all, I'd like Gojira more properly in Japanese, but first of all, before we get started, I wanted to say thank you. We are apparently up to the 80s, like 89 now in subscribers. So I
91.
Thank you very much. 91 now. Holy crap!
Damn.
I want to say thank you very much to our new subscribers. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your support.
Welcome, one and all, to our
We hope you
circle of
enjoy the
madness.
show.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Well, if you've seen this before, you know how this works. Yeah, basically round robin style. So, and I will lead us off as the host. Well, if I can pull up my review here real quick. Well, to get us started, Legendary, Warner Brothers, take notes because there will be a pop quiz afterwards. Call me a film snob all you want, but I am about to rate these two over the coals. Oh, and Disney, you need to be watching too because this definitely pertains to you as well. Monsterverse. Who are you? Godzilla Minus One. I'm you, but better. As the song says, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. And baby, Godzilla Minus One is the real thing. This movie is the truth, and that's a fact. Nobody does the big guy like Toho because nobody gets him like Toho. It's not about the spectacle or the destruction left in its wake, although that is fun to see. It's about the human drama and how he affects the people around him. That's what makes us care. That's what makes us love a film. Complicated characters with real emotions. That helps us identify with them and invest us in their fate. We want to cheer for them. We want to see them succeed. And we feel when they don't. And that's what makes this Godzilla a cut above the recent attempts to adapt him in Hollywood. This film has real human drama. That human drama comes in the form of Koichi Shikishima, a kamikaze pilot at the end of World War II who did the unthinkable and abandoned his duty out of fear of dying. After once more showing fear during an encounter with Godzilla on a small Japanese outpost island, leading to the deaths of nearly the entire crew, Koichi must live out the rest of his life in shame, taking a job as a mine hunter because he cares not one whit whether he lives or dies. The choice to use such a traditionally dishonorable person as the main character is a bold one and sets the tone right off the bat. For Koichi, the war never ended, and his guilt and PTSD prevent him from forming a bond with his newfound roommates. A beautiful young woman he meets in the rubble named Noriko Oishi, played by Minami Hamabe, and an adorable orphan infant girl she is raising named Akiko, played by Sei Nagatani. These relationships drive the film, setting the stage for the spectacle to follow by creating actual stakes for people we come to deeply care about over the course of the film. Koichi is no larger-than-life Giga Chad action hero like Stallone or Schwarzenegger. He's the lowest of the low, and in Japanese society after World War II, you don't get any lower than a failed kamikaze pilot who failed to do his duty for the emperor. His situation mirrors that of Japan after the war, a proud people who had lost everything, feeling deep shame over losing the war while dealing with a situation where mere survival becomes an act of heroism. They had lost everything, including their faith in their government, with many feeling a sense of betrayal toward their leaders, that they had lied to them about the course of the war. Many Japanese people did not realize they were losing the war until they had actually lost it, until they actually found out they were surrendering. They also felt rather ambiguous about their new American allies. Into this setting steps our titular antagonist, Godzilla, now much larger and even more powerful than the first time Koichi encountered him. The big guy does his thing, wreaking havoc everywhere he goes, yeeting a boat and a train like a softball and using his atomic breath to blast a hole in the middle of the city, creating an actual atomic explosion in its wake. It all occurs with some of the most spectacular CGI I've seen all year, or in any Godzilla film for that matter, made all the more impressive by the film's comparatively minuscule $15 million budget. In the wake of the devastation, Noriko, with whom Koichi had just begun to bond, is caught in a blast. Godzilla, this seemingly unstoppable force of nature, has taken what little this country and this character had left, taking them both from a state of 0 to -1, hence the title. Yet, just as Japan rises from the ashes after the war to become an economic powerhouse, so do our plucky band of heroes, led by Koichi, who finds renewed purpose and a chance at redemption. Their clever plan manages to damage the monster, but fails to stop him, thus placing the burden on Koichi. Feeling he has lost everything with the apparent death of Noriko, he ironically volunteers as a suicide bomber to fly a plane laden with explosives straight. He ironically volunteers as a suicide bomber to fly a plane laden with explosives straight into Godzilla's mouth, where the film, where he seems the most vulnerable. It all seems headed for a tragic end when the film pulls one last beautiful surprise. As a parachute suddenly opens, a flashback reveals that the surviving mechanic from the island, a person who had more reason than most to want him dead, the person who fixed up the plane for him to fly to Godzilla's mouth, a person who had installed an ejection seat. The flashback shows that he told Koichi to live, mirroring the words of the scientist who led the project to destroy Godzilla, who earlier spoke wise words that their country had been too careless with their lives. So he wished them in this battle to fight for life, to fight to live. It's a very life-affirming statement, well earned by the film, made all the more appropriate in that Noriko turns out to have survived. A move that would appear cheap in a lesser film, but brings genuine tears of joy here. I literally cried for about 10 minutes for the last 10 minutes of the film. And it's all because of some damn good writing. Toho takes the big studios of Hollywood to school with this film. It turns out you don't need a $200 million budget, forgettable one-dimensional characters, and bad writing to make great monster films. All you need is good writing, characters you actually care about, and $15 million. That goes not just for Godzilla, but blockbusters in general too. And that is why my rating, if I can, is a perfect, and I do mean perfect, 10 out of 10. This may very well, this is up there with Oppenheimer with one of the best I've seen all year. So, and it's a tough call between the two. So, and next I'll hand it over to my literally challenged brother right here, Cinematic Sterling.
Before I start my review, since this is World War II and we're dealing with the aftermath of an atomic bomb, I just want to say fuck you, Hideki Tojo, and fuck you, Emperor Hirohito. Burn in hell.
What for?
But with that being said, I'm not an expert on Godzilla or kaiju movies by any means. I've seen the first classic Godzilla, and yes, the actual Japanese Godzilla, not the one with Steve Martin. No, not that Steve Martin, another Steve Martin. And I think it's great. I haven't seen the classic sequels. I remember seeing the 1998 version when I was little, and it sucked. I haven't seen the MonsterVerse movies, and I might have to, in preparation for this new one. Oof. Or Shin Godzilla, and I've been meaning to. At first, I wasn't expecting much from Godzilla Minus One, but then I heard all the critical acclaim it was getting, and my brothers here were praising the living hell out of it. And that bumped up my curiosity even more. And after seeing it on a Sunday afternoon in a packed house, all I had to say is, wow. Just wow. I am at a loss for words, but I will try my best. Godzilla Minus One is a perfect movie. I loved this movie from beginning to end. There are no negatives to be found, no matter how hard I try to look for them. The first thing I must applaud this movie for is it fixed an issue I had with two movies I saw this year, Cocaine Bear and Five Nights at Freddy's. One of my biggest issues with those movies were too much focus on boring humans and not enough monster. This is an exception. I loved all of the characters in this movie so much, I didn't mind Godzilla's limited screen time, and all the acting is fantastic. Everyone does a phenomenal job. They make you love their characters. From Koichi, a former kamikaze pilot who's dealing with survivor's guilt, his partner, a young woman who helps him raise a young orphan and whose parents died in the bombing. And then you have Doc, the captain, and the kid. These were my favorite characters in the movie. I fucking loved these guys. Every time they were on screen, I was either smiling or laughing. The script is excellent. The pacing is perfect. Not once is this movie ever boring. My eyes were glued to the screen the whole time. And the CGI in this movie is incredible. Godzilla looks menacing as hell. And I have not seen him this threatening. And it looks like in some shots it looks like he's smiling. You could tell he loves the destruction he's causing in his wake. It's sad when you have big budget movies like The Flash or The Marvels that have horrible CGI. And this movie was made for only $15 million and looks a million times better. The action scenes are intense, especially the big fight at the end where they're all teaming up to take down Godzilla. The score is amazing. I nearly squealed when I heard the classic Godzilla theme. The humor that is utilized here is hilarious. The drama hits well, especially when Godzilla is attacking the town and she gets caught in the destruction. And oh, good Lord. When we learn that she survives at the end, I bawled my fucking eyes out. And I mean that in a good way. Because I loved Koichi and Noriko's connection so much. I'm just glad she survived and they made it out okay. And I loved the themes of war and people coming together to fight a common threat. Those themes were executed perfectly. Unlike certain movies I saw in the past. This review does not do this movie justice. Takashi Yamazaki, you're a genius. You are an awesome director and writer. I never thought a Godzilla movie would blow me away this much, but here we are. Godzilla Minus One is a masterpiece. And this may have beaten Across the Spider-Verse as my favorite movie of 2023. Watch this movie now. Now. 10 out of 10.
And there you have it. There's Cinematic Sterling's review. And next for The Right Dude.
All right, let me pull up my review here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me state that just like with Cinematic Sterling, I'm also not a massive Godzilla fan or a kaiju fan. In fact, I haven't seen a lot of it. In fact, the only ones I have seen were, of course, the original Japanese one. I saw the 1998 version I remember seeing that when I was 9, and unfortunately I saw that in theaters. And I've seen the 3 from the MonsterVerse movies, and yes, that does include Godzilla vs. Kong. When I saw the trailer for Minus One, I was curious to check out, but didn't expect much other than, just be a fun time. Then the reviews came out, and I was just stunned when so many people, including some of these guys, said that this was one of the best films that came out this year, maybe even more so than Oppenheimer. So I went to see it with my fellow North Carolinian all the way on the other end, as well as as well as the son. And all I have to say is, wow, just wow. This film is truly a spectacle. First of all, I love every single one of these characters in this movie. One problem I had with all of the Godzilla films and all the MonsterVerse is that they focus 90% of the time on the human characters and 10% on the monsters. Now, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if the human characters were interesting, which in the MonsterVerse, they were not. They were boring, generic, cardboard cutouts. I didn't give a shit about any of them at that film. But thankfully, that's not the case with this film. All the characters in this film were so fleshed out, and they were just so much more interesting. I love Shikishi Ma, who was a former kamikaze pilot who goes through Survivor's Guild, and he goes through this kind of a redemption kind of arc. I also love the love interest, Doriko, whose parents were killed by the bombing of Tokyo and rescued a baby, Akiko, who they raised as pretty much almost like their own child in a way. These two both have excellent chemistry together. They have wonderful connections, and yes, it was a very touching, and it was a very touching moment when you see that she survives in the end. And not to mention the performances all around are fantastic. I would pretty much point out some names, but I feel like I'm going to butcher the ever living hell out of them. But I digress. The CGI look on Godzilla has never looked this amazing before, especially for a film with a $15 million budget. It's really sad we live in a world where movies with super high budgets of $200 million or more, where the CGI looks like absolute dog shit, while movies with very low budgets make the CGI like a million times better and just look amazing all around. Take note, Marvel and DC. The action scenes are just so badass. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and there were multiple times where and I'm pretty sure that this guy could confirm, you'd hear me say, whoa, or oh shit. Like I was just blown away. That's my favorite. One of the best things that blew me away was when Godzilla, when Godzilla had Wolverine's healing ability once a bomb blew up in his mouth. I was like, holy shit. Not to mention, I love the iconic Godzilla theme that played during the moments where he was destroying the cities. The pacing is excellent, and not once was I ever bored or felt like anything needed to be cut. Now, this is the part of the review where I discuss my problems, but to be honest with you, I honestly can't think of any. Yeah, I'm not joking. This is truly a spectacle, and I cannot think of one issue I have with it. Not even as a nitpick. But this is, like I said, this is truly a spectacle. I could see this being among one of my favorites. It's sitting somewhere in my top 3. I'm still trying to debate whether it's going to be number 2 or number 3, but we'll see when we talk about our best films of the year stream. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it, whether you're a Godzilla fan or not. It is truly a cinematic experience. And my score is a perfect 10 out of 10.
All right, that's 3 perfect 10 out of 10s. And next for the Geek Informant. Oh, first let me just give a shout out to some of our viewers out there. Tuckerverse, what's up, man? And Alternator, how's it going, brother? All right, sorry there. Go ahead, Geek Informant.
All good. So, as I keep repeating with the rest of the people in this stream, I wouldn't say I am not a big Godzilla fan. I love the first movie, and unlike everybody else here, I actually really enjoy the MonsterVerse because it's enjoyable schlock to me, just like the shitty Sony Spider-Man movies that don't feature Spider-Man. I enjoy them for what they are. They're not good, but I like schlock, so that's just me. But with that, I've seen the original Godzilla, and of course, it's excellent. It's one of the best. It's the probably, the OG will always remain the best. Although I have heard that many others are also very good, like Godzilla 1985, All Monsters Out of Attack, Tokyo SOS. A lot of them I've heard are really good. Thankfully, I have not seen the god awful 1998 version. The only thing I've seen some clips, and all I have to say is that's a lot of shit. But in regards to this film, I remember a trailer came out, wasn't really bothered by it. I'm like, okay, another Godzilla movie. Yes, from the masters themselves. I'm like, I was just kind of indifferent. I didn't even bother to watch the trailers, which was definitely to my benefit. And I was like, okay, fine. It looks cool. Maybe I'll catch it when it hits streaming or something or whenever. And then our mutual friend Rome was like, this is one of the greatest fucking movies I've ever seen all year. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but sure. And then our buddy here saw the film and he was like, it's an absolute fucking masterpiece and one of the greatest movies I've seen all year. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the fucking theater and watch this goddamn thing then. So I made a double feature Friday with Dream Scenario. Not gonna lie, kind of feel bad for Dream Scenario because despite that movie being also very good, very great, highly recommend. Yeah, this was something. And holy fucking shit, it was something. And it was something very, very, very good. So it was funny because I was watching this movie, like enjoying it. Like it was good. It was good. Like the first, like, I don't know the time when it comes to like in a theater, like absence of time, all that. So I was watching. I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, this is enjoyable. I thought the CGI for Godzilla in the beginning, like proto Godzilla, Zilla, I guess. All right, not great, but let's see. I wanna see. I'm like, okay, this is really good, really enjoyable, but I'm not feeling masterpiece yet. Not feeling masterpiece. Like, that word gets tossed around a little bit too much. People say fucking like Avengers Endgame is a masterpiece. I'm like, all right, calm down. Let's see. Let's fucking see here. Let's see if it reaches masterpiece quality. And then Koichi's at home with Ariko. And he hears on the radio, Godzilla seen in Ginza. It's like, oh shit, Noriko's there. And I'm like, okay. Okay, let's see what happens. And then we cut to her on the train, riding along, nothing. Then we see Godzilla in the background. And I'm like, ooh, okay, this is about to get interesting. And then I nearly shit a fucking brick. I might not know a lot about Godzilla, but I know what I need to know. And as I said, I've seen the original film. And then I just hear boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, yep, this is the greatest fucking movie all year. Yep, this is it. Fucking masterpiece. Yep, greatest fucking movie. Yep, here we go. Let's fucking go. And then from right then on, I was on the edge of my seat. I have not been on the edge of my fucking seat since Top Gun Maverick. I have not seen a movie all year where I have been on the edge of, like, don't get me wrong, Oppenheimer, fucking absolute excellence right there. That is genuinely one of the greatest films ever made. I will stand by that and I will die on that hill. But in terms of action, holy fucking shit. This is fucking excellent. And I knew. I'm like, okay, yep, this is a masterpiece. Yep, this is the greatest movie, one of the greatest movies I've seen all year. Yep, easily. Fucking easily. So I was like, all right. I don't like to be a contrarian, but I don't like to be a fucking normie either. Because who wants to be a normie, right? But I gotta agree with everybody else. This was a feat of filmmaking. because I don't want to just redo what everyone else is saying, because I agree with everybody else. I agree that the human characters are excellent. I agree that that the drama is great. The themes of PTSD and war is great. The fucking commentary on the on honor and honorability in terms of what the Japanese like did, how fucking psychotic they were in World War II. And I don't care if I'm fucking seen as like racist or some shit. I don't give a fuck. They were psychotic. They were fucking insane. So with like their fucking terms of honor. So and with that you have all that shit, and you have this beautiful movie, and like kindness and compassion are coming back, guys. We're over the fucking 2000s and 2010s fucking nihilistic, gritty brutality garbage. We are past our teenage Frederick Nietzsche stage, all right, as a fucking society, I think. Hopefully we can, and this was all about saving and hope and the beauty of humanity and the power of survival and living and the strength we can find in ourselves, how and the persistence of the human spirit. And no matter what, we will get through whatever we need to get through, whether it's us, whether it's Japanese, German, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like this. If fucking aliens came down tomorrow and were like, give us an example of what humanity can be, I'd show them this movie. This is what humanity can be like, and having also themes of like having the hope in future generations. Like one of the many scenes that made me bawl my eyes out was when Doc and the captain didn't want the kid to be part of this, because it's sort of that wide eye brilliance of like, oh, I want to defend my country too. And it's like the people that say that have never seen a bad day, a truly bad day in their entire lives, and they don't understand. And when they were like, we don't give you a war for the future, we give you the future. We are sacrificing ourselves because we've already sacrificed so much, and we're giving you what you need the most, a positive future. And that was beautiful. That was brilliant. And I was crying in the theater. I didn't fucking care. Everyone else was crying in the theater, so it didn't matter to me. And Godzilla, obviously he's great. I felt like he was a little stiff in certain areas, but like, again, with what they achieved with 15 million, I don't care. Like, that was during the fight scenes when he is moving around, more than made up for it. And like, obviously the rest of the writing was just brilliant. If I had any nitpicks, and I do have a few, I have two. As I said, the CGI was a little stiff at points with Godzilla. Okay. The second one was at the very, very end. Like, he gets reunited. It's this beautiful, heartwarming scene. The entire fucking theater's crying their eyes out. And then it cuts to sequel bait of like, oh, Godzilla's not really dead. And it's like, all right, you couldn't have given us like either it was really weirdly edited. It wasn't like a slow dissolve to like the water and we see it for a second and then we see like Godzilla like reforming. It's like, okay, this really beautiful scene. Is your war over now? Oh my God, Jesus Christ. And it's like this beautiful gut-wrenching scene. And then it's just this harsh cut to like, oh, Godzilla's reforming. And then it ends. It's like, guys, you had perfection. You still have perfection, but it's like it was like a microscopic notch down. It's like it's like you didn't need that. Just pull a Marvel and just have a fucking mid-credit scene, or just make it slightly better edited. Outside of that, outside of those two absolutely fucking minuscule, microscopic nitpicks, this was one of the best movies I've seen all year. An absolute excellent film. It makes me want to watch every Godzilla movie, from the greatest of the great to the shittiest of Godzilla versus the Smog Monster and that shit. So, you know, even with those, I still give it a 10 out of 10. This was one of the best of the year. For me, it might be number 2. It's more than Oppenheimer, even though Oppenheimer is a better film and I love it and it's excellent. This just ekes it out for me. Oop. Where did Devin go? Oh no, he's remaking Skinamarink. So anyway, now it's Jay's turn.
Jay, you're up, my man.
I think you guys are lucky that I didn't go before John, because I had to change my score after hearing everyone's reviews about this film. Okay, where do I start? It is no secret that the last couple of times I've been in here, I've had not so nice things to say about movies. I have pretty much been in a really shitty mood in the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to specify why. And I've seen some pretty shitty movies. I've seen the Marvels, I've seen Indiana Jones, I've seen Secret Invasion. I've seen a lot of bad movies. I was not expecting to see this movie. I was dragged to this movie against my will. True story. I was dragged to this movie against my will. I actually wanted to see Hunger Games. When my friends said, hey, we're going to the movies, I'm like, okay, can we see Hunger Games? They're like, no, we're seeing Godzilla. And I'm like, another Godzilla movie? Like, damn, like how many more Godzilla movies am I going to watch? Because it's now, I know everyone in here has said it, but I am going to actually be for real. I couldn't give a shit about fucking Godzilla. I've never understood why everyone loved it. I understand why it's iconic in Japan, and I understand why it's iconic in America, but I was never really a big fan of Godzilla. I've seen Godzilla King of Monsters. I thought it was good at the time, and I saw Kong versus Godzilla. That movie is still dog shit to this day. It was a waste of my time, and it was a waste of my breath. So when my friend, a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, he showed me a trailer to this movie. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't look anything like I would see it, but it looks decent. So when I came into this movie, I was blind. I was not expecting I didn't even know it was going to be subbed. I thought it was going to be dubbed in English. So that even took me by surprise. So when I tell you, the first 15 minutes of this movie, I was actually invested in the first 15 minutes of this movie. That would be an understatement. There has been another movie in this year that I've seen where the human characters I couldn't give a shit about, and I wish that was abolished entirely. That movie was Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I couldn't give a shit about the human characters. I really couldn't. And that really was what tipped the iceberg for me, where it's like, I'm tired of getting movies with human characters where the actual namesake of the actual title of said movie is not focused on. So when I came to find out that Godzilla's so watching this movie, I've only seen Godzilla once, and which is at the island. So seeing Koichi and his story, I was actually invested. Seeing him meet Noriko and Akiko and them becoming a surrogate family, and hearing us, diving into more of Koichi's backstory, I was actually invested. It actually almost made me forget I was watching a Godzilla movie. I was just watching a movie about people trying to recover from Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings in World War II. And I was very much invested. I wanted to see more of these people. I actually was starting to like these people a lot. Then the boat scene happens. The boat scene, was where I was like, oh shit, this is about to get real. And that scene where Godzilla is chasing Koichi and his friends in the boat and them trying to kill it with the bomb, I was like, oh, that's not going to end well, because it's just going to piss it off even more. And when I saw that the Godzilla healed from it, I was actually shocked. I did not know he could do that. So that even made me more scared. I'm like, okay, and then now this is a small detail. We saw the atomic breath in that boat chase scene, but we didn't see it in the full capacity. So I still knew that it had it, but I'm gonna fast forward. So the scene where Godzilla comes to Japan and is on land and destroying everything, I was like, oh man, I hope everyone survives this, because I'm actually rooting for the humans here. I don't want these humans to die. I want them to live, because they just suffered a tragedy in World War II and they're just recovering from it, and Godzilla is fucking it up. This is the one time where I think Godzilla's a fucking asshole, because Godzilla is just destroying shit for the fun of it. And it's like, dude, you just had to destroy this shit. These people are trying to survive from a fucking like cataclysmic event, and you're ruining it for them, man. And then this is the scene where I knew this movie was from great to amazing. We see Godzilla prep his atomic breath, and it's slow and it's suspenseful. And I'm thinking, oh, the atomic breath isn't going to be this bad. I mean, it's just going to be a laser. When I tell you, my jaw dropped to the fucking floor when that atomic breath not only blew something up, but it basically was a goddamn atomic bomb, literally an atomic bomb. I'm like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. This is actually, wow. And then when Noriko died, I was like, no. This is just after we see Koichi finally trying to find something to live for, instead of just basically being a dead man walking after he abandoned his duties became a kamikaze pilot, him not wanting to be Akiko's father, him not wanting to, marry Noriko. It's like we finally see him try to be happy, and now it's like he's knocked down another peg. And that scene was really sad. Like, I actually almost cried. And I'm describing basically the movie again, like Mark did. I'll try to speed this up. I really thought that the final battle was great. I loved that we see the civilians, this normal civilians of Japan, band together to try and defeat Godzilla as a unit. It kind of reminds me, this is kind of a lame comparison, but it kind of reminds me, and this is not really like similar, but it kind of reminds me of 9/11, because when 9/11 happened, and that was like one of the most like devastating things in American history. We see like people like stand together and band together and stand strong. That's basically similar to this movie. We see regular civilians who just dealt with two tragedies in not a long span, in a short span of time. They dealt with the bombings in World War II, and then now they're dealing with this monster that's destroying their city. And we see the civilians band together to try to fight for a better tomorrow and fight for a better future for the next generation. And seeing Koichi's arc from him wanting to die to him trying to finding something to live for, that was a great arc. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of knew that he was going to live, because when the mechanic was fixing the plane, it kind of gave me the feeling like, okay, he's gonna tell him about he found the ejection. He's gonna tell him about it. He's gonna find a way. He's gonna MacGyver out of the way. But still, when the scene where it's just dead silent and we see Koichi fly into Godzilla, I dead ass thought he was gonna die. I thought he was still gonna die. And the fact that he lived made me so much made me happy. Like, okay, he actually didn't die. even though I kind of wanted him to, he still lived. But overall, I think this movie was really good. I think it was really good. This movie is just one of the best movies I've seen. And considering that this is the second movie that deals with, the atomic shit, the other being Oppenheimer, I would say that these two movies are the best that I've seen this year. And I would say that finally we are given a movie where the human characters are actually great characters and we actually give a shit and we care what happens to them. I'm looking at you, Godzilla versus Kong. I think this movie was amazing. The only nitpicks, and I mean the only nitpicks that I have, and it actually almost made me knock this down a 0.5 point. So, because I did change my score. The only two negatives that I have, I kind of still think I would have been fine if Koichi would have died. Mainly because I think him dying would have fulfilled his arc of him finding, not running away, not being, and actually, trying to sacrifice himself for the greater good, and him, trying to, fulfill something that he didn't do before. But I do like that they made him live, because it means that he was able to find something to live for, find something to fight for, and him being able to live for Akiko and, find a family. Now, the second negative that I have, it also kind of stems with the ending. I do think that Noriko surviving that is a little bit of bullshit, because it's a bit of bullshit. Because when he went to the hospital, I'm like, no, there's no fucking way. And then we see Noriko, and I'm like, I'm happy to see you alive, but there's no fucking way you would have survived that. I'm sorry. There's no fucking way. But I noticed it. I don't know if anyone in here noticed, but she may have survived, but she's not going to live for much longer. Because it's alluded that she may be dying of radiation poisoning. Because there was black black stuff in her neck, so she may be dying. But hey, it was a happy ending. It's a happy ending, but it's kind of like a melancholy ending, because you kind of know it's not going to last for much longer. And then with the cut to Godzilla, being coming back to life, I actually have a problem with it. However, I do think it would have been better as a post-credit scene, and have them reuniting. And it alluding that Noriko was going to die. It'd be kind of a haunting but good ending. So I would say this movie is probably the second best movie I've seen this year. I was going to put this at number one, but I saw Oppenheimer a day after. I watched Oppenheimer with my friends to see if I still had Oppenheimer as my first. So yeah, Oppenheimer is still number one for me. But Godzilla Minus One is the second best movie of the year. It is the only movie besides Top Gun Maverick, like John said, to actually keep me at the edge of my fucking seat. And ironically, it was in the same fucking theater where I saw Top Gun Maverick, so that's a plus. But overall, I would give Godzilla Minus One a 9 out of 10. Disney, Warner Brothers, take fucking notes. How does a $15 million movie do better than you when you have $200+ million in budget? How does that movie do better than She-Hulk, and it had $200+ million in visual? Yeah, there's no excuse, America. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. That's all I have to say. How does it feel, Disney? You got cucked again.
I mean, you told the truth. I mean, look, I can confirm what Right Dude said. I mean, pretty much everybody in that theater was going, "Wow!" A lot. I mean, I know Right Dude was. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Jack. I mean, it takes a lot to impress Jack. And Jack.
Oh yeah, I know.
Watching.
It's funny. It's funny. Usually, whenever I go to a movie, there's always someone or a group of people acting like an asshole, pulling out their phones or talking. This theater was silent. Nobody was being a douchebag. People were just watching the movie the way it should be.
What a fucking
Should we go?
thought.
Okay. I was gonna say, should we go ahead and read Rome's review?
Yes.
Yes,
Mark,
I meant to do that.
please do that.
Yeah, I got it
Okay.
up right now. Okay. This is a review for Rome's, and I will read it right now. Godzilla Minus One is a modern reboot of the 1954 classic film. What blew me away about this film is how much character development is in the human characters, and the slow burn movements paid off with high stakes at the end, with me rooting for them to live. This is the theme of Godzilla Minus One: to live. Our main character, Koichi Shikishima, who is inspired by Hideto Ogata from the original film, is very flawed, and we meet him at his worst a few days after World War II. The actor Ryunosuke Kamiki, who plays Koichi, uses a lot of emulation of Hideto in his character, as I noticed very quickly. Takashi Yamazaki is the director, writer, and special effects artist for Godzilla Minus One. This shows how much of a fan he is and the love he has for Godzilla. With his Godzilla film, he explores some of the socialisms of Japan in a post-World War II setting, as Japan is in despair as they struggle to rebuild. And then a giant kaiju monster, Godzilla, puts them at -1. Godzilla is not a misguided monster or sympathetic creature. Godzilla is a force to be reckoned with and terrifying to anyone who is in his path. When we see Godzilla, the emotional impact is felt with the human characters as you're rooting for them to live through another chaos. I love how Takashi uses a combination of the classic Godzilla look with a bit of the legendary Godzilla look with his Godzilla. Godzilla has eyebrows again, and his eyes are scary, as a lot of shots focus on his eyes. Minus One has some of the best or greatest Godzilla scenes that audiences will talk about. Mine was the boat chase sequence, which will be something fans will be talking about for a long time. The classic Godzilla scores in this was something new as well, and the score helps with some big scenes with the human characters in Godzilla's presence. The special effects were fantastic in this film for a $15 to $20 million film budget. I will say the CGI can be recognizable in some of the background stuff, but it does not distract from what's happening in the film. The negative could say there is not enough Godzilla or a big slugfest. Monster movies, I'm sure some audiences will want something like the Monster Universe from Legendary. Overall, this is a great film for 2023 and a great Godzilla film that does rival the 1954 classic, in my opinion. Godzilla Minus One is a must watch in IMAX or a theater near you, and Rome's rating is a perfect 10 out of 10. 5 stars on Letterboxd. Fantastic review, Rome's. Fantastic.
Jay is the odd man out.
Yeah, you can tell Rome's really knows his stuff about Godzilla.
It was actually funny that he says about Ogata was because I was expecting for them to do that with the plan. How when they saw the diorama with him like going beneath the surface, I'm like, oh, are they going to use the oxygen destroyer again?
That's what
I'm like. Okay, that would be interesting, but no. Luckily, they did their own thing, and I'm very happy about that.
They did.
So
I was too
happy about that. And they're like,
I thought it was a very intriguing plan too. Yeah, I thought it was a very intriguing plan too. I like that.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was a very neat.
Yeah, and I loved how they had what at first it didn't work, and then Doc said, "All right, let's try Plan B."
Well, he
had Plan B already.
He had to have known Plan A wasn't going to work.
Yeah, because I love how they had a backup plan. They had backup plans.
Exactly.
They had a Plan B and a Plan C.
I was gonna say the more backup plans you have, the more you're about to succeed.
Yeah.
Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
Honestly, this is my headcanon. I'm convinced now, and I don't give a fuck if anyone disagrees with me. Imagine if Oppenheimer and Godzilla Minus One is in the same universe.
Honestly,
oh my God.
I've seen memes on that where
the memes.
It shows Jason Clarke in the meeting, like from Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, tell us if you did or did not know that the bombs would create Godzilla.
I saw another one that had Godzilla saying, "I am your greatest creation," and then Oppenheimer saying, "You are my greatest failure."
By the way, Mark, I love how you shit on fucking James Gunn and you don't like the Suicide Squad, yet you quoted the Suicide Squad when it's like, oh, I'm you, but just better.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, that meme goes long before the Suicide Squad.
I just like to
why I
watch.
didn't admit that
Listen,
shit.
I'm just mocking.
Like
you
for
because
instance, there was the scene from Good Time with Robert Pattinson where he's like, "You act like you're better than me." He's like, "I am better than you."
Exactly.
You know, so
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is -1 to the MonsterVerse movies. With Godzilla, was it Godzilla X Kong Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
This
That
is
movie
gonna
is so
this is
stupid.
gonna look like a Nick Jr. It's like watching that trailer. That looks like a Nick Jr. show compared to -1.
Yeah,
difference-
when I
is
watch,
it like,
when
I
saw-
don't give a fuck. I'm excited for New Empire. I don't give a fuck.
I'm
It looks
sorry.
fun.
After watching -1, when I saw that show, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck is this?
I mean,
What is
honestly, they I don't hate monster.
I was gonna say the part where Godzilla and Kong are just running toward the camera. That looks so stupid. Really?
Yeah,
stupid.
so apparently,
No.
so apparently Godzilla's Goku now.
Okay,
And
Kong,
fucking King Kong has a fucking Infinity Gauntlet. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this,
Wait.
this just shows you like where we are in society with America and its movies. Like they just got showed up by Japan, and actually they're making a good Godzilla movie, and then America's like, oh man, we just got smoked. Oh well, we're dropping this trailer. People are gonna watch it anyway. I don't know why people are calling this a good. Oh, I'm so excited for this movie. Oh, this movie looks so exciting. It looks stupid.
You know
It's
what? If
stupid.
people are excited for it, then I'm not going to take their joy away from them. If
No,
people
like-
are happy, then there's plenty more injustices in the world to be pissy about.
Right.
If people
I mean,
are
it's-
happy, then they're happy. Then
I mean,
remember, you got to remember the kind of compassionate shit that this movie's trying to show. If people
He's
are
right.
happy, people are excited for New Empire. I would say I'm excited, like super excited for it. I'm intrigued, like with what it's gonna be. But like, if people are excited for it, then it's no skin off my nose. They're happy for something, and you know what? I'm glad they're happy because that means they can find joy in something that I can't. That's what, like, it's no skin at this point in my life. I'm like, it's no skin off my nose. Like, if people are excited for something, as long as it's not fucked up and illegal. Like, if people are like, oh man, I'm super excited for Sallow and the 130 days of Sodom, then it's like, all right, then go fuck yourself. Luckily, that's not happening, but I'm just saying, you know.
Give me non-flashbacks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I don't. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Sorry.
You're fine.
No, you go. Sorry, it's your.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't hate the MonsterVerse. I mean, I just think. I mean, look, I loved Kong Skull Island. I thought that Godzilla, the whatever it was, 2018 one, whatever it was, I thought that was pretty good. 2014, sorry. Yeah,
I
it
liked
was.
King of the Monsters. I thought that
How
was
old am
really
I
good.
getting? Fuck. I thought the 2014 Godzilla was good. I loved Kong Skull Island, still do. Kong Skull Island was great. That was a lot of fun.
Nerd.
Thanks, son.
You're a bunch of nerds.
Yes, we are, son.
Yeah,
I'm a geek. I'm a geek. We're geeks. Me and John are geeks.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's the same thing.
Nerds are a bunch of pussies.
That's the exact
Geeks are
same
cool.
thing.
Get on with it.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
Jack.
hey, don't try to win an argument against a 14-year-old. Just
Anyway, I was just going to say real quick that, I mean, I just think it's been kind of mediocre, especially since then. It's been kind of downhill. King of the Monsters was okay. Not bad, but not great. It was just kind of okay. Godzilla versus Kong was a big disappointment to me.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big disappointment. That was just kind of, I didn't give a shit about anything other than when they were fighting. And even then, it just kind of, it wasn't that spectacular of a fight. Neither one of them. So.
I'll say this about I mean, even though I'm not a fan of Godzilla vs Kong either, I will give it this over both of the other two Godzilla movies in the MonsterVerse. At least you could see the fights, because it's like the other two, they just take place in the dark at nighttime, and it's hard to make out anything.
Although I have heard that Monarch, the Monarch show on Apple TV Plus is very good.
But it's Apple TV. It's Apple TV. When have they ever made bad shit?
Dickinson.
Oh, I don't watch that show.
I watched it. The
Um,
first 3 episodes were really good, and then it goes downhill from there.
like this
But
is
it's
the thing.
David Gordon Green. What do you expect?
I mean, listen, this movie. I think this movie should be nominated for best foreign film. Hell, I wouldn't even. I think it should be nominated for best film. Honestly,
And Japan actually nominate this film and don't pull a fucking India where they nominate Oscar bait crap instead of RRR. Fucking
Thank you.
nominate -1, you fucking cowards.
Preach.
I haven't even
Say the
seen
missiles.
RRR, but I find that to be bullshit.
Like you
as
said.
far as I'm concerned with the monster universe, listen, I've never seen Kong Skull Island. I've never seen Godzilla. I've only heard that it's bad. And the only reason I've heard that it's decent is because the only thing that people like about 2014 Godzilla was Bryan Cranston, and he dies in like the first like 30 fucking minutes.
You does, yeah.
God, listen, y'all know how I feel about Kong versus Godzilla. It's literally just a Batman v Superman ripoff without any of its redeeming and great qualities. But
Batman vs Superman has redeeming and great qualities.
yes,
Huh?
yes, yes, I will die.
I just wanted
on
to
that
see Mark's
motherfucking
reaction.
hill.
Sorry. I just wanted to see
BVS
Mark-
is one of the greatest movies in superhero history. I will die on
Thank
that
you.
fucking hill.
Listen to this man.
Fuck all of you Zack Snyder haters. You goddamn son of a bitch.
Hell yeah.
Like I was saying, I think the only monster movie where like the human characters are decent is King Kong, and that's because it was directed by a man who's really, really, really liked by the Oscars and the Academy because he directed the Lord of the Rings movies.
And even then, I think Peter Jackson's King Kong movie would have been great if it wasn't such a goddamn slog.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's fucking
After
Peter Jackson.
Lord of the
What did you
Rings, he
expect?
went a little crazy with the run times.
It's Peter fucking Jackson, of course. God, I mean, look at
I
the Lord
just
of the Rings
want
films.
my boy to create schlocky horror films again. Is that too much to fucking ask? I just want him to create stuff like Brain Dead and The Frighteners. Is that too much to fucking ask?
Yes.
Love the Frighteners. But anyway,
That's my favorite Peter Jackson movie.
I mean, do you think? Besides best foreign film, best film, what else do you think it should be nominated for? Best like sound? I think the sound design was pretty good.
yeah, I
Why not
got so
Right.
pumped up when I heard that.
I was like, oh,
I
my
would-
God.
Like, oh shit,
I would-
it's on.
I would cut off my left testicle to see it win best effects over all those big Hollywood blockbusters. I would fucking love it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I
Exactly.
would agree with John. I think some of the CGI was a little shaky. I think
wasn't
it was
bad.
a little shaky when we saw Godzilla do. He literally was walking like this. He's like,
I mean, he kind of
That's
walks
how
like that in the
Godzilla
original movie.
Yeah,
The rubber suit.
That's how he walks, man.
Exactly.
That's
it just
how he
looked
walks.
goofy. It looked goofy when I saw it. I was kind of laughing when I saw it.
That looked
I
goofy.
noticed that. I noticed
Yes.
that, but have you seen Brie Larson flying around in the marbles? No, that's goofy.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
And then, even though that movie had the entire fucking budget of the entire net worth of some third world countries, and yet it still looks like garbage.
Is anyone even talking about that movie? That movie was talked about for a week, and then no one's talking about it anymore.
Yeah, because
It
we have a
had
better
five-
movie.
It had its 5 seconds
Not-
of fame.
not-
Marvel is really not
Not
going downhill.
to mention, the Marvels had the worst weekend opening to any more MCU
To
movie.
be fair,
Period.
Major blockbusters rarely ever win effects. Like, and I'm talking about like anything in the realm of a superhero movie. I don't think has ever won best effects as long as it's been around. If I remember correctly, I'm sure there's somebody in the comments that'll be like, actually, it was.
Yep.
But because I mean, look at the year that I think Endgame or I'm kind of losing like track of the years at this point because it's all melding together.
2018,
But I forget if it was the year that Infinity War was nominated or Endgame was nominated. yes, it was Endgame because it was Endgame and Rise of Skywalker were nominated, and the movie that won Best Special Effects, 1917.
He's 17.
Yeah.
Endgame got nominated for best special effects.
And
That I'm gonna be honest
I
with
was
you.
gonna-
Endgame, that movie looks pretty. Sorry, Rob. Sorry.
Honestly,
No,
John has a point because
I was-
war movies often in best effects. War movies very often.
I
win
mean,
best
Oppenheimer. You know what's probably
What-
Oppenheimer's probably going to win
probably.
in terms of effects. Sorry,
But
Rob.
someone-
What
John-
did you want
John
to
has-
say?
Let him speak.
I mean, Rob has something to say.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was gonna say, going back to what you said about like comic book movies win best special. I think the only one that comes to my mind was Spider-Man 2. That was like the last one that actually won special effects. And usually, the thing is that for special effects, it seems like the Oscars normally go for what's the most realistic looking effects.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like it's always going for realism.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like last year, and again, this plays on what you said and what I said about war movies. Last year, it was All Quiet that won.
Even
Best
though
Effects.
Yeah.
even though it won way too many awards, in my opinion.
It was.
Hey, Mark, can you share my screen?
Yeah. I was just about to ask if you were ready for me to share that.
I really wanted to see. Like you think Godzilla looks goofy in this movie when he did this?
Thank you.
What the fuck am I looking at? Why is he doing a trampoline somersault?
Hey,
Because
some of
he
the-
celebrated
I think it
he
was-
just celebrated beating a monster.
I think
Yeah.
it was
By the
Godzilla
60s,
versus Monster
Godzilla
Zero
built
or
You know
something
what?
like that.
I take it back.
Or no, I think it was Godzilla versus the Space Monster. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to comment on what John said, so Endgame, he said, yeah, Endgame getting nominated for best effects is kind of crazy because I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Endgame, but the more the years go by, the more problems I have with it, and one of them is the special effects. The effects in Endgame, and mainly towards the end of the movie, are not good. It's not good. First of all, the final battle is basically in a like gray CGI schlock. Most of the fucking scenes where the Avengers are, at Avengers base, it's literally just in front of a fucking empty green screen. You were saying, yes, John?
So I looked it up, and I would like to confirm Rob's suspicions about special effects. He is correct. Spider-Man 2 did in fact win best visual effects. And I went through all the winners, not the nominees, because that would have taken too long. In terms of winners, the only two films that were superhero films that won were Spider-Man 2 and the original Superman. And that's it. Those are the only superhero films to ever win. Worthy, yes. But so it's unlikely that something like this would be nominated because it's Japanese, and even less likely to be winning. So because it is kind of in that blockbuster. But I mean, Way of Water won last year, which makes sense, and then Dune the year before makes sense because as much as I don't like the original Dune, the first Dune, I should say, the effects were exemplary. Like that was some of the best visual effects I've ever seen, period. But in terms of this, Oppenheimer falls into that war drama sort of thing, so that's probably going to win. That's probably going to sweep a lot of shit. So, just saying.
Okay.
Deserves more than Quiet.
Okay. What I was gonna say, I'm gonna go in because I got work. I gotta head to work. So,
Later, Rob.
All right. Take it easy.
Later, Rob.
Later.
Thanks for
Later.
talking, brother. All right, man.
If I'm gonna comment on Oppenheimer, I think
You're still here.
Bye.
Come on.
Get the
Turn
fuck
off.
out.
I think Oppenheimer should win 3 awards, maybe 4. Best
We'll win that.
editing, best sound design. I think because the atomic, Jesus Christ, that's watching it again. Oh, actually, fun. All right, so fun fact. I watched Oppenheimer a day after I saw Minus One. I was watching it, and when the bomb dropped again, I was expecting the boom to happen, and it still scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I was expecting it too, and then when it happened, I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, really.
It should win. Yeah, best editing, best sound design, best movie, respectfully, and well, I mean, best main actor,
Best supporting actor,
and best supporting,
best supporting actor for best supporting actor for
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
You know what? They're gonna cuck him. They're gonna cuck him at the Oscars. They're gonna nominate him, and they're not gonna give him the fucking award.
Robert Downey Jr. is beloved in Hollywood. I think he'll win it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's tough because it's not like, he was like a quote unquote serious actor, and then he did superhero films, but he was a serious. It's not like a Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler situation where they do nothing but movies that people don't like the critics don't like, and then they do one really good movie and then they get gypped because they had a career of movies that critics don't like. Like for Adam Sandler, it was Uncut Gems, even though he gave one of the best performances of the year easily, but they didn't nominate him because he did shitty comedy movies for years, which just isn't fucking fair.
Bias.
Or how Revenant technically wasn't equal to Leo's best performance, yet it was given to him because they're like, well, we gypped you the last 5 times you were nominated. Might as well give it to you now.
I'm just waiting for Andrew Garfield to be in another movie where he's nominated, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, we screwed you over for The Social Network. We screwed you over for Hacksaw Ridge, and then we screwed you over for Tick, Tick, Boom. Here's an Oscar, just because.
Honestly, God, I think if there's anything, if there was a performance that was worthy of Leo getting an Oscar, to me is Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that. I agree.
But Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey played an AIDS guy, so they're like, all right, we got to give it to him.
Matthew McConaughey was damn good that year, though.
He was really good.
That performance was even better than that, I'd say, is
Departed, and he wasn't even nominated.
In, Django Unchained.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that.
But he said the N-word, so that barred him.
I mean, which is ironic because a movie about racism won Best Picture in the Oscars, even though that was like one of the worst Oscar best film nominees. Like
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's not like Crash levels of bad. So I'm
gonna say Crash. It's ironic.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a serious slavery movie. I thought you were talking about.
No, it's ironic that. It's ironic that DiCaprio didn't win because he played a racist slave owner, but yet the Oscars gave Crash a movie
after school special movie about racism. It's like, oh, did you know racism is bad? I'm like, yes, we knew.
Yes, thank you, because Captain.
Thank you, guy who raped somebody. That's actually true, by the way.
Bring it back to the big guy here.
The director was arrested for rape. By the way,
who was this?
The guy who directed Crash. Anyway, Godzilla. He doesn't.
Yeah, we were talking about Godzilla.
Bring it back to the big guy here. Where do you think Toho goes from here? Do you think they try to create more sequels based on this?
They did sequel bait, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Shin Godzilla. That was the last reboot.
Yeah, and I love Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla.
Was there sequel bait for that, or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I would love to see a sequel to Shin Godzilla, and it's been talked about. But I mean, I would love to see it because it'd be very, very cool to see. Because, I mean, on his tail, you could see he was evolving kind of human type things, So, I mean, that'd be very interesting. But if this is a massive hit, which I suspect it will be, then I suspect they'll probably go with sequels based on this. So.
They just extended its theatrical run.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, though. I kind of thought of it more as an ambiguous. I kind of thought of it more as an ambiguous ending.
You saw him reforming.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that Godzilla really wasn't gonna be dead.
Yeah.
So hey, this was a better way to have a. Listen, if they want to make a sequel, fine, but at least they did a better setup here than they did in Squid Game. Squid Game. One of the reasons why the ending pisses me off is because they didn't need a sequel. They didn't need a sequel. They do not need a second season of Squid Game. They just did that just for the fucking fun of it because we knew this is the best show on Netflix. We gotta give them.
Wasn't there a sequel like a shitty version of what Mr. Beast already did or whatever? Like it's real life Squid Game. Wasn't that their season 2 or something?
There's a reality show. There's
Squid Game, The Challenge.
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
What's next? What's next? Stranger Things: The Experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, don't
No.
fucking go there. They're already fucking cinematic universing that franchise. Please don't give them any ideas.
Listen,
what do you
we're
mean
getting a
cinematic?
cinematic universe of fucking it. Which is, I actually wouldn't mind.
Well, I mean, it.
Here's the thing, at least
I mean-
it has like expansive fucking
Yes!
lore.
Thank you. This because I know they're doing a new show and
Yeah,
the setting is weird. They're having it in the 60s and my idea for this show is it should be an anthology series. Each episode is about the cycle where it fed in.
Yeah. And
You
what
see
I think
different
it
parts
should
of
have
its history.
done, what I think
So,
it should do, but here's the thing, what I think it should do is it keeps going back every episode. Like have it take place in the 60s, because that's 27 years from the 80s, or the 50s, whatever it is. And then 27 years before that, which is like the 30s, 20s, 30s. And then before that, it's like the late 1800s. And then before that, it's like it keeps going back until, the Pilgrim Age, which is the 1600s. And that's when it is first, seen. And I will say, that scene that was promised in one of the scripts, that was so fucking excellent. I don't care if Devin, if you call the script bad. Where it was like it eating
That
the
scene
fucking,
was cool. I will admit that
it
scene was cool.
eating the fucking baby. That would have been awesome to fucking see. Not see it, but like heavily imply it. Although I wouldn't mind.
Oh, no!
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a baby eaten. That's kind of cool.
Why not?
I mean, we saw it in
No!
Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's fine. We're good.
Do I look like I watch monster movies?
Oh yeah, I forgot. How ironic!
You just saw a monster. We're doing a review for a monster movie.
How ironic! We bring up Ed, and here I am with Pennywise on my arm.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. I have Pennywise and God on my side.
I honestly would kind of hope they just kind of leave this. I would prefer they leave this as a one-off because it's just so damn special. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, but at the same time, I trust Toho. My faith in Toho is pretty much infinite at this point. I don't, I won't say they can't do any wrong, but I trust them far more than I trust.
The smog monster.
Bring back Manila.
Japan is smart. They're not gonna. They're gonna make a movie that they believe would actually serve the plot. Unlike America, where we're getting another Creed movie, which I honestly don't know why they're making another Creed movie at this point. We're getting an I Am Legend movie, even though I kind of thought that it was satisfying. We're getting all these pointless sequels. Tell me, what? Why is Will Smith in I Am Legend 2 if he's dead?
I know why we're getting a new Creed movie.
Sequel.
I know why we're getting a Creed. I know why we're getting a new Creed.
Yes.
Because they are capitalizing on Creed reuniting next year.
Oh God. You
The
know
Shires
why.
I hope on.
We all know why.
We've got to have money.
Is that a Nickelback reference? I'm so confused.
No. Well, close.
We've got to have money. That's why they're doing it.
Like Creed, especially, I really think Creed should have ended after Creed 2. I think Creed 2 was a perfect ending for Rocky's story, and I think it was a perfect ending for Adonis' story. He finally got to, I guess you could say, avenge his dad. He was able to beat, Drago's son. He was able to get, a sense of finality. We get to see Rocky reunite with his son. Like, it was a perfect ending. And then we got a third one, which I don't think Creed 3 is a bad movie. I like Creed 3, but I feel like some of the reasons why Adonis ends up fighting is kind of contrived. We didn't really need a fight between him and like, I just don't understand. And then the movie tries to gaslight me into thinking that Adonis can't fight anymore because he's old. Look at
to be fair, boxers age very differently.
Exactly.
Like
I
mean, football players retire at like the age of 30, like except for quarterbacks because they don't really get hit that much. But like a running back or a wide receiver, they get fucking nailed all the fucking time. They got to retire at
like a word, sir.
And it's like
okay
at like 33, 35 at most.
All right,
So-
fine. I will give it a pass, but still, I do think that the plot for Creed 3 was kind of just something that Michael B. Jordan wanted to do, even though I kind of felt like it didn't really need to be there, and especially them not referencing. I referenced Rocky, but him not being there kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
No,
No.
it didn't bother me honestly because Creed 2 finished Rocky's story.
Yeah.
He reunited with his son. He did not need to be there. There was no reason for him to be there.
The only
and
thing
it
I
would've
could
been
maybe
nice,
see, but
but
I
I
forgot
mean-
who mentioned this, was like him not being at Apollo's
Yeah, that's
wife's
what I mean.
funeral. Like that's a little weird.
That's what I mean. Like, why is
That's
it?
a
I
little
mean, if you
weird.
want to have him there, have him be there.
Or
Or
blame the producers. Blame the producers for that because I mean they didn't want to give him his money. So I mean, so Stallone said, "Well, fuck you." So I mean, otherwise,
I
he
mean, it's
would
kind
have
of the
been
same thing.
Fuck
which
you! I'm
I
gonna
hope
do
they address
Expendables
this.
4 because clearly people still care about that franchise.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least it's kind of the same thing. Which I hope they address this in the final season if they decide to bring in Hilary Swank, because I refuse to believe that Daniel and Miyagi are so close that Miyagi just never mentions the fact that he had another student in Julie. I refuse to believe it. I don't believe
Hey.
it. Even though,
Back
listen,
to
hate
Big
the next
Bang.
Karate Kid all you want.
Also,
Okay.
yeah,
Go
can we
ahead
go
and
back
wrap
to
this up
Godzilla,
because we're
please?
talking about. We're not even talking about Godzilla. We're talking
All right.
about Creed and
Sorry.
Karate
Yeah,
Kids.
we went way too off topic.
way too far field.
All right,
Yeah.
fine, but
Yeah,
All right, so
what
bringing
is
it back. How can we
What
wrap
What
this
is
up?
this?
Godzilla?
A Halloween stream on Zach's channel?
you want to talk about Godzilla? Fine. I'm gonna say
What was
something
this? Our
that's
old best and worst of 2021 stream?
Oof.
Oh,
Well,
by the way,
let's
when are
just-
we gonna stream that? Is that like the end of the year?
We
Like
haven't
the-
decided on a date yet.
Because listen, I'm gonna be present for both streams because I wasn't there for worst. So expect me. I'm saying this in advance. I'm gonna bring some aspirin, and I'm gonna bring something to like like a stress ball, because when I get
And
to
some
my top three,
boobs.
when I get to I can't for obvious reasons.
Heads up, ladies and gentlemen. Once we get to the end of the year streams, they're probably going to be like 5 or 20 hours long.
Yeah, keep in mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
Godzilla Minus One. You should
Yeah.
fucking see that shit before it gets
Yeah,
exposed
don't fucking see
in
that
theaters.
See it in the theater because believe me, it is fucking worth it. If you can see it in IMAX,
Because since I saw two movies on the same day, because I saw Dream Scenario first and then I saw Godzilla Minus One. Dream Scenario, I got the matinee discount price, and I was a little upset that I didn't get at first, I was a little upset. Oh, Godzilla, I didn't get the matinee price. But then after watching the movie, I'm glad I played. I'm like, I would pay you more money for this movie. I would like normally. Jay, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I'm glad I paid full price. I'm like, it was like about $13. I'm like, I would have given you 30 for
I
that.
paid $13. I paid $8.
Okay, aren't you so fucking special?
I didn't.
Yeah, I am special. Thank
I
you for telling
didn't.
me that.
I didn't pay a lot of money because I use Regal Unlimited.
Oh, God.
Hold on.
Okay. Are you happy? Are you happy? You
Yes, I am.
Got it down. Like, are you?
We're Damn it, Regal AMC. We're desperate. Sponsor us.
Yeah, well, they really want to sponsor the channel that has 91 subscribers.
Yup.
I mean, hey, honestly.
Take what we can get at this point.
So,
But final thoughts on Godzilla Minus One, so we can wrap this up.
Fucking phenomenal. Perfect. Go watch it.
Yep.
Good
perfect.
movie.
Go watch it.
9 out of 10 for me. I guess I'm the contrarian here because I didn't have it as a 10 out of 10. So I guess I
But
suck.
like, you know what? You still gave it a 9 out of 10. That's still really fucking good. So
It's
like,
better than-
we're not mad.
So yeah, I changed.
We're
the
just
score
disappointed,
From
no.
an
I mean,
8.5
we're
to a
kind of
9.
mad, but I mean,
Just like go watch it. Don't even like. I know, like in terms of the holidays, money is tight right now because people are spending gifts as
Yeah.
well as financially, America's in the shitter. But please scrounge up enough money, pickpocket somebody, go to your rich uncle, fucking sell yourself on the street. Just get enough money so you can watch. Just get enough money so you can pay a ticket, watch this movie. You don't gotta get popcorn or soda or candy. Just get enough. Just scrounge up enough just to go see this fucking movie.
Go on a matinee or a $2 Tuesday or something. So I guess that's it. Our judgment.
Or pretend you're a senior citizen so you can get senior discounts.
Okay, and so our judgment is.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, 2023 has been filled with some very mediocre. I would say 2023 probably is the worst year for movies this year. I would say this is like in my life.
You haven't seen a lot.
Okay, fine. From my perspective.
From your perspective, 2023 is evil. Yes, we know.
Because I just feel like this year.
And you are lost.
Well, thanks, Obi-Wan.
You are lost.
I'm just saying. I just think because as far as I'm concerned, like this year, especially during the summertime, the blockbuster was supposed to be like the money making season for movies. We didn't get a lot, and Hollywood has kind of been going down a downward spiral. I guess we could say with the mainstream American movies. I know A24 always keeps it up with great movies. I know that independent and indie films. Yeah, but was afraid indie. Okay, you know what? Fine, indie films. All that shit, like the goodies, those are exempt. I'm talking about the mainstream shit.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a big ass list of 2023 releases to check out, son. Just letting you know.
Yep.
I have some movies on my list. I still want to watch The Creator. I still want to watch.
Well, I'm giving you more.
I might check out that Ben Kingsley movie with the alien.
Jules is cute. But
yeah.
Anyway,
that's our film. That's our review.
And stay tuned. Stay tuned next time for our live stream review of the newest Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron, hosted by the right dude.
He was not here.
Yes,
but he is here in spirit.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
He's here
and sticking with us this long. So thank you very much. Bye bye.
Arigato.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.